with Shirley, Cleester, and Eula. It's a wonderful, wonderful day, and I am so glad and so thankful that God has blessed us to live to see another day. And
Amen.
we have been off of here since the 28th of October, and I think everybody knows what we've been going through and what we're yet going through. God is faithful. He is faithful, and I am so thankful to him for everything that he's doing. So, Rita, can you hear me?
Yes, honey. You remember you said
Okay.
God is so his merciful, his mercy is everlasting. You remember mom you say that?
Uh-huh.
God's
Mercy
so merciful, his
everlasting.
mercy is everlasting.
Now, I don't see us. Do you see us on Facebook?
Oh, I hadn't turned it on yet. I'm sorry, I hadn't turned it
I'm
on
trying
yet.
to see. I don't see us, but we're on
As
live.
y'all can tell, I have a guest in house.
You're trying to say something, say it.
I can't see myself that well on the phone.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do the prayer. Dear God, as we sit before you to speak, we pray to you that our souls you will keep. And if we should die before we finish, we pray to you that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. And as we were saying, we thank God for another day, for being so good to us. There it
Amen.
is. For watching over us and guiding us and keeping us safe and safe from all hurt, harm, and danger, blessing us to be able to go through and make it through what we're going through. And we're still going through, and we're yet thankful to God because he's given us the strength to do what we need to do. And
Uh-huh.
so on my camera, I'm looking, and I messed up something, I guess. Well, I
I
don't
see
see.
you on
Oh,
Facebook.
y'all on?
I do see you on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, I see it too. So I guess I better just keep talking, huh? Because you can't hear me.
Yes, I hear you very well.
Okay. Okay, so Clea, your topic is
How do you know you're the other woman or something
oh,
like that?
could you be the other woman?
I, Shirley, you know I forgot. You know my mind is gone.
It's on here.
It's
Could you
something like that.
could you be the other
The other
woman?
woman. There it is. Yes,
Uh-huh.
ma'am. That's
And
it.
mine is dealing with ungrateful people.
No.
There are so many people that are so ungrateful,
So
and
yes.
and there are people who think they're entitled,
Yes, yes,
entitled
yeah.
because people they think they're entitled, and people do things because they have to. Sometimes people just tolerate them.
And there you go.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes people just tolerate them. So
Right.
I am going to go into mine. I'm sure you want me to go first.
Of course you do. The lady of the hour. The woman with the power. Miss
I
Shirley. Miss
Miss
Shirley. Go, Miss
Shirley.
Shirley.
And lady said, I feel like that every day, Miss Shirley.
Go, Miss Shirley.
Nine
Everybody,
signs.
in case, I'm sorry, Shirley, in case y'all
Go
don't know,
ahead.
because I know this is my friend Gail, my ride or die.
Hi, Gail.
Is it
Hey,
me?
hey,
Is that
hey.
me?
Get,
Oh,
get yourself away here, girl, woman. Yeah.
Down there in
Yes,
Louisiana.
ma'am. My only friend, my only true friend.
I am
That's
her
all right.
Thelma to her Louise.
That's right. She said she is my Thelma to my Louise.
Okay. All right. Thelma and Louise.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Nine
Okay, let's go.
signs. Uh, she can
I'm ready.
still. I know she will
No,
be
I
here in a
said,
minute.
okay, we started. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Nine signs of ungrateful people. Gail is just fine. Nine signs of ungrateful people and how to deal with them. And this is a conscious rethink. A conscious
Mm-hmm.
rethink.com. Okay, that's the site. A conscious rethink is conscious rethink.com. And that is the site. Okay. We all have moments of ungratefulness. It's just a human nature to have moments of ungratefulness. We can get so caught up in our own bubbles and concerned with our own problems that we forget to think about and appreciate the things that our fellow human beings do for us and the sacrifices they make for us on a daily basis. People forget about that. People they go on and they live down through the years, up, we can say up through the years, their lives go on and on and on. And then sometimes they get into where they feel like, hey, this is me, and I've done this myself. And nobody else had anything to do with this. And then the more they accomplish, the more they want. And so they think they feel like that people owe them this and owe them that, but they forget what other people had to move around in order for them to have a life back yonder so that
Hello.
they could be where they are today. So
Yes,
people
ma'am.
are ungrateful. They forget about these things. I'm here to remind people.
Who y'all?
Okay. We get so caught up in our own bubbles. Okay. So the author here is saying, I'm sure if you think back over the last week, you'll be able to come up with at least a handful of occasions on which you were at least a little ungrateful. And sometimes we just forget it. Sometimes, and I look at myself, and sometimes I think, and it comes to me, I say, oh God, forgive me. Have I thanked you today? Have I thanked you today? Or have I done what I'm supposed to do today? I think about that because sometimes we just go about and start doing things, but very seldom. And it's not trying to brag or boast or anything, but when I open my eyes, I say, God, I thank you for another day because I want God to know that I am grateful, grateful, grateful. But there are times, like this is said, if we think back, even the last week, we'll be able to come up with at least a handful of occasions where we've been ungrateful. And just because we can come up with those, it doesn't mean that we were intentionally ungrateful. But in the process of time and the process of life, we're just moving and moving and moving. And this has got to be, and this has got to be, and this has got to happen. And we just go on. And so sometimes things slip our minds.
Right.
So if you can't, then you're either just a lovely person or you're lying to yourself.
Who y'all?
Okay. But just because you have your moments of ungratefulness, that doesn't mean you're an ungrateful person. See, it fixes it. This is such a good article. When I was reading this, I said, oh my goodness, this is on point. So although we all slip up, and we do,
Yes,
we
we
all slip up.
everybody.
Most of us don't go through life exclusively expecting others to do things for us, never acknowledging or thanking them for it. Okay? It said,
Mm-hmm.
although we do slip up, most of us don't go through life exclusively expecting people and others to do things for us, never acknowledging or thanking them for it. So it said most of us. Okay, but we got some out there, all right, that are not grateful. All right.
Amen.
And we are aware of just how lucky, and it says lucky, but I say blessed, we
Oh,
are
amen.
in
That's it.
so many ways, even if we don't always express it. But yet we're grateful. People can tell by our actions and reactions that we're grateful. So on the
Mm-hmm.
other hand, there are people out there who are generally ungrateful most of the times. And yes, okay. Now, all different kinds of things can cause ungratefulness. It might be their upbringing or things that have happened to them in the past. Okay, now it seems I can understand about the past. We all have a past, and there have been some many unpleasant things in our pasts, and many, many pleasant things in our past. So I can say for myself, and you too, Rita, and you can say it for yourself, that we've had more pleasant
Amen.
days, we've had unpleasant days. Whatever
Yes.
has come around, because
I
we
know
had a
this. Amen.
wonderful mother and father, we had a
Amen.
wonderful grandparents,
Yes.
and we were blessed. We were blessed above many, above many. So all different
Yes.
kinds of things can cause ungratefulness. And I'm repeating this. It might be their upbringing or things that have happened to them in the past. Now, it seems that because of things that have happened to people in the past, that they should even be more grateful if they're doing well now. But some of these people are something else. They think that they're entitled. They think that people should for them. Oh, let me get
Mhm.
into this. Okay. But some people just have personality types that mean they're more likely to expect more from others and from the world. And I look at people and I see people, their actions, their reactions, the more they get, the more they want. And you can see them just reaping and reaping and
Yes.
reaping. And
Yes.
then here you are. It's not that you're not reaping, but God is blessing you in a way. And then they want to reap yours too.
Yeah. Hello. Talk to them, sister. Hey.
So these people can understand why they should have to be thankful for good things that come their way or for things that other people do for them. Some people just act like they don't get it. So it can be difficult to establish whether someone's just having a bad time or if it is temporarily or if they're genuinely ungrateful. And from the signs of lately, I have seen where some people are just generally ungrateful and think that they're timed. And you know what? Yes. Anyway, keep reading for a basic guide to identifying and handling any ungrateful people in your life so that you can minimize their negative impact on you and on others around you. And you know, there's sometimes you just have to cut them off. Reedy, you there? I know your camera's off, right? What happened, Reedy? I'm going to keep on. 9 signs of an ungrateful person. They're never satisfied is number 1. That's one of the signs that an ungrateful person is never satisfied. No matter how well things seem to be going for them and how many goals they meet, targets they achieve, or things they get their hands on, they're never happy. Some people are never happy. You see people just doing this and that and the other and this and that and the other, and they're never happy. And then they're looking over your way and seeing what you're doing, and then they want a part of what you're doing so that people can say something about them for doing what you're doing, and they claim it for themselves. It's just so much ungratefulness and selfishness and entitlement in people's minds. In people's minds. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad you're here with us today, reading our
Oh,
so glad.
yeah.
She's right there. Welcome to Point of View with Shirley, Cleester, and Eula. So they're never satisfied. These are 9 signs that people are ungrateful. There's always something else they're chasing, something else that's not right, and another reason why their life is not good enough. Whilst having goals is normally a positive thing, they don't know how to take a minute to be happy and thankful for everything they have achieved. Sometimes you can just give and give and give to a person, and they just want to take and take and take and take. Even though their hands are full, their toes are full, they have to hold on with their toes, hold on with their mouth. Everything you're giving them, you're giving them. They have it. They don't even have room for it. And they're still trying to take, take, take. And then I look at people, and people, when you're nice to people, many, like I said earlier, many people feel entitled.
Yeah.
But it's not that people are entitled. It's not that they're so great that you do things for them or treat them like you do. It's just that because of certain things, you tolerate them. So just because people treat us nice and everything, sometimes they can be just tolerating us because of our positions. So they just keep asking and asking and trying to get. So whilst having goals is normally a positive thing, they don't know how to take a minute to be happy and thankful for everything they have achieved. Instead, they're ever setting their sights on something else. Never satisfied. Never satisfied. Number 2, they are filled with envy. This is how do you identify an ungrateful person? They are filled with envy. People, listen to this. They look at the good things that others achieve or have, and they wish that for themselves, even though they have they have
Yep.
so much, but they look at what
Yep.
you have, Reading, and they want what you
Yes.
have,
What you
even
got?
though
That's
they're
right.
already full, don't have room in their hands or feet, and the toes hanging
Right.
on things, but they
Uh-huh.
want what you have. Okay.
Yep.
But it goes beyond looking up to someone for inspiration. They look at the good things in others. It goes beyond looking up to them for inspiration. They compare their life unfavorably to others, and this envy consumes them so that they cannot be happy with what they have. They cannot be happy. And I have witnessed it, and I still witness it. They just have an abundance, even though they're taking part of yours. They have part of yours. They have an abundance, and they're
Right.
yet greedy, yet greedy,
Yep.
yet
Yep.
greedy. They're
Yes.
bitter. Number three, they're bitter. How can you tell
That's
if
right.
a person's ungrateful? These are traits and signs. It doesn't take much
Mm-hmm.
for them to get angry. They might be resentful about something that happened in their past or get upset about whatever's happening in the here and now. Get upset. And see, like I said, people are not, it's not because many people are so great. It's not because people are so wonderful, but people are just tolerating people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
These people are
Right.
ungrateful now. Number four, they have a major sense of entitlement. Did I talk about entitlement? Ungrateful people
Uh-huh.
have often suffered in the past, but that trauma can create an idea in them that they're entitled to an awful lot from the world and from others. When people have given them, have taken them, and literally saved their life.
Right.
And then they take that for granted. And because people have been nice to them and treated them with kid gloves, trying to help them to recover from the trauma of whatever
Mm-hmm.
happened in their past, then they take that and they take advantage of people and they interpret that as being entitled. I'm so
Yeah.
special. They've got to do
Yes.
this for me.
Yeah.
This
Mm-hmm.
should be
Yeah.
mine. I should be doing this. I'm
I
the
should.
one.
Yes.
I'm the best for the job. You ain't the best for the job,
Yes.
baby. You just been tolerated in most
That's it.
cases. Number five, you see me say ain't?
Oh,
Okay. Now,
she on it today. She
number
rolling,
five,
rolling. Yeah, she rolling. She
they're
rolling.
always
They done put a
asking,
lat. They done did a match.
always asking for help from others. Most of us tend to struggle to ask for other people. Oh, one thing I cannot stand having to ask for help. I can't stand
Oh,
it. It does something
look
to
at
me.
Gail. Gail pointed me. Gail pointed me because I hate to ask for help. She pointed
Oh,
me.
don't want to ask for help. Now, if I have to, if it gets to the point where I need to,
To the
I
point.
will ask for it. And then if I'm turned
Oh, yeah.
down, I ain't asking that one no more. Okay.
Hello.
Most of us tend to struggle to ask for other people to help us. We don't want to put people out. But
Mm-hmm.
ungrateful people or people who aren't thankful will happily ask you to help them. There's always something they desperately need your help with. They seem to feel that they've earned your help. So they don't have to thank you for it. They might have
Yeah.
done
Come
one
on.
nice thing for you once and expect 10 in return. And I
Uh-huh.
said the other day, I said, people don't understand how we don't know what God turned around, what he changed, even today for us.
That's right.
What he
That's
might
right.
have turned around, he could have intended for something else to be in store for us. And then he said, oh, no, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to change this around. And maybe somebody else took our place in whatever that was, if it was a negative thing, if it was for us to leave this world today, or whatever. We don't know. We
Don't know.
just don't know. And just like
We
there was
don't know.
I was watching one time, and this lady had a heart transplant. And so her uncle told her, he said, you don't know what the universe had to do and what kind of changes it had to make in order for
That's
you
right.
to get that heart and be where you are today. People
That's
don't
right.
understand. People don't
Yeah.
understand. So people take them in and they rearrange their home setting.
Oh,
They
yes.
rearrange their lives and everything to take people into their homes and to
In
take
their home.
care of them
Yes.
and protect them just like they belong there. And then these
Yep.
people have the audacity
Oh,
to try to be snide and nasty.
yes. Yes.
I'm telling you,
Preach.
I don't like that. I don't like that. And so
My
I
sister
say,
on it today.
yes, ma'am, because I mean, you know, something pumped me up.
I ain't talking about you.
I
People
can
being,
walk in the car if you drop me in here.
what is it?
I was very thankful.
That's
People
just this
being,
girl.
what did she say? Was that Ruby
I
or
was walking.
Gail?
That's Gail, God help her.
What did you say, Gail?
She was talking about being grateful. She was saying pretty much the same thing you were saying.
Yes, yes. I don't mind her saying something, shoot.
How people don't be grateful. And
Uh-huh.
she was saying how she be grateful when people do stuff for her.
Right, right. And
Uh-huh.
I try to show my gratefulness too. I
Yes.
do. But then
Yep.
like some people, they will move into your home, and just like you're supposed to let them come into your home. People
Uh-huh.
move around, they make adjustments for you, and then you get to where you on your feet, and then you got the audacity to be nasty and snide
And
and
thank you better.
ungrateful.
Thank you better than them. And thank you better than them.
Yes,
Yes. Yes, they do
yes.
it. A lot of people do that.
How dare you?
They forget they were home.
Oh, y'all. Thank you, sister. Oh, my sister. God, how dare you? Talk to them,
There's
sister.
always something they desperately need from you. They might have done one nice thing for you once and expect 10 in return.
In return.
Number
Yes,
6,
ma'am.
if you can't help them, they won't let you forget. And if you genuinely can't give them the help they've asked for, you won't be allowed to forget about it in a hurry, whatever your reason, even if they don't deserve it. And then try to make little smart, snide remarks. And the thing
Not
that
for.
gets me is
Mm-hmm.
that when you're shooting at me, and like they say, when you're jugging at me, or you chunking at me, and then you think that I don't know what you're doing, I'm insulted then. And people do that mess. People
Yes,
do
they do.
that mess. They do it.
Yes, they do.
Ungrateful, ungrateful, ungrateful. People, you need to hear this. And I know you out there listening and watching us have some ungrateful people in your surroundings. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, because people are something else. They think you owe them something when you've given them so much yourself. And then they switch it around and try to make you feel you owe them.
Boo, y'all.
So they could never repay
Okay.
you for what you've done for them.
What you
Never,
done for them.
ever
That's right.
repay them.
Talk to them. Yes.
Some people's lives have depended on other people, and then they get the audacity to try to be ugly and nasty
Yes.
and try to be
Yes.
smart with
Yes.
people. People better be careful.
Yes.
People need to be careful. So
When they
if
think
you
they
can't,
throwing
huh?
them rocks, and when they think
And
them, what my niece said, you better be smart, but you check the room, make sure you the smartest person in the room.
that's right.
When they giving them little sly remarks, because she a
Yes.
lotus filer.
Yes.
I
People
don't know.
do that.
She's a lotus
They
filer.
do that and then think you don't know
Yes.
what they're doing. When you pushed yourself, you pushed through what you feel and had people to do things. You've pushed through and done this out of maybe respect or whatever, but not because you're the best person for it or whatever, but just trying to let people feel included, and then they go and anyway try to bite you in the catoo. Okay, and end up
Ooh,
biting them
Katuna.
own self.
Hey.
End up biting them own selves in the catoo. Okay?
In the katoot.
In
Hey.
the two. Number six, they won't let you
Oh, she
forget
can
it
cuss.
if they help you. Number seven, they don't genuinely care about others. Consistent
Right.
ungratefulness is often linked to selfishness. The world
Mm-hmm.
revolves around them, and they think it's only natural that others should do things for them.
For them.
So they
Amen.
don't tend to empathize. They don't tend to empathize with other people's sufferings or needs. It's simply not
Mm-hmm.
their problem.
Yeah.
I worked hard for this. I worked hard for that. Uh,
Yeah.
they have to get this for themselves, and and they owe me this and they owe me that. But how much do you owe other folk? How much?
Booyah.
Number eight, they don't have time for you unless they need something from you. It's only when they need something from you that they pop up. And we know people like that too. And I hope I'm not a person like that. I don't pop up much anywhere. Okay. They won't
Amen.
suggest
Amen.
meeting up just to catch up. And they won't text just to see how you are. They take you for
Uh-huh.
granted. People take you for granted. That's why,
Amen.
they think they because you don't um retaliate quickly, or
Right.
you
Right.
don't snap back, people take you for granted,
Yep.
even though you know what they're doing, because you
And they
have to
just think
have that said, Rita.
they think they went over your head.
That's right. That's right. They
They think
think
they
they're
went over your
way
head
up
with that little
there
point.
and you don't know what's going on. But the reason is because people think about it and they consider other people. Because when people are
Talk to them,
selfish,
Cliff.
it's not just them, that are being affected, or people are seeing them only as selfish people, but there are people who are they are surrounded by, that can be affected by whatever the consequences are for them being like they are. So people think about it and they feel like it's not worth it. So I'll just back up and let them make it. But wait a minute, okay? They play the victim. Number nine, they're not just pretending to be the victim. In their mind, they really do consider themselves to be worse off than anyone else. If you ever complain about something, they'll be able to offer up several examples of when they've had it worse. And if you try to offer sympathy or advice, they won't take it because they think they know everything. They think they know everything. So now, how do you deal with an ungrateful person? And then one of these things is what I've decided already in my mind. An ungrateful person can be a very negative influence in your life. And people don't need that in their lives. There's enough going on in life now, but people don't need that kind of stuff in their lives. So ungratefulness, excuse me, is not a positive trait. And if you're obliged to spend large amounts of time with someone who's not grateful for the things they have and what others do for them, then it may well start to rub off on you, or just really get on your nerves. We can come up against ungrateful people in all areas of our lives, both professional and personal. But in this article, we're going to focus on the personal. And so we can read on and then we can get some advice about how to handle ungrateful friends or family members. And I want to say this about our family, about my nephews and my nieces. I tell you, God has blessed us. Mom and daddy taught us, and they got it from their parents, how to be thankful, how to love each other, how to support each other, and everything. And I thank God that He has blessed us through what we've been through these
Man,
last
yes,
few
yes,
years,
amen.
these last
Yes,
two
ma'am.
months, and we have been
The truth.
100% united. The siblings, the
Mhm.
nieces, and the nephews, 100% united. And I thank God
That's
for
right,
that.
man.
Hallelujah. Number one, here's how you do. Here's what you do. How to deal with an ungrateful person. I'm almost finished reading.
I'm not worried, honey. Go on.
Number one, put
Go
your
on.
cards on the
You
table.
telling it.
It's not going to be an easy conversation, but you need to let your friend or your family member know exactly how their behavior makes you feel. So chances are they haven't realized that they've been making you feel underappreciated. So if you care about this person, it's always best to start off assuming that's the case and that they're not doing it deliberately or knowingly. We have to come in this with an open mind. And even though sometimes we know, yeah, he means it,
Yeah.
she means it, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Yep.
in here with an open mind and let my mind think, oh, she doesn't mean that. Oh, he doesn't mean that, when we full well know. But we're trying to give people a chance, or people are trying to give us a chance, whichever the thing may be, okay? So wait for a good moment to ask them to sit down for an honest conversation. Firmly but calmly tell them how you feel with specific examples of things you think they take for granted or don't appreciate you for. So try to frame it as expressing your feelings rather than accusing them of things, as accusations are likely to provoke a negative response. So give them a chance to apologize, but make sure you're prepared for them not to do so. Because some people are so full of themselves. They're so full. And you
Yeah.
know what about these having these conversations? And I let and there's always an inner man, and that's the spirit of God when it's leading us in good. And
Amen.
I listen, and many times I won't discuss something with the person because the spirit is telling me it's not going to do any good anyway.
Nope.
And
That's
what
right.
they're going to do is go and tell what they want to tell their side to whoever they know will be on their side.
Mhm.
And they're going
Right.
to put their
Right.
input in it and everything, and have people looking at you like you're the bad guy.
All
People
upside
do
your
that
head.
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. They do.
best sometimes not to even discuss it with other people. Pray about it and ask God to fix it, or else
Yeah.
get some yonder. Okay?
Hello.
Okay.
Hey.
So I there have been occasions where I have chose not to even talk about it because I know the people and I know what they'll do. They'll run
What
to
they'll do. That's
somebody else,
right.
whoever's in their corner, and tell them this, and then make it sound like that I was the one and I was what is it, the aggressor, and all that kind of stuff. People do some
Yes, they
terrible things when they want attention, even though they know they are wrong, but they
Yes,
won't admit it
they are wrong.
because some people think that they are perfect, and that ain't
Yep.
right, and it ain't true.
That ain't
Okay,
right.
now,
That ain't right.
so if what Chris Tucker said, don't get no writer, I'm telling you. So chances are they haven't realized that they've been making you feel underappreciated. Listen, let me go down here. So if you care about the person, it's always best to start off assuming that they, didn't intend to do it. So wait for a good moment to ask them to sit down, and we did that. Give them a chance to apologize, and don't be surprised and don't cry if they don't apologize. Okay? Because many of them will not apologize because they think that they're entitled. They think that there's the superior
Mm-hmm.
one, even though they're just as wrong as
As
three
wrong
left
as it is.
shoes.
Yes,
Now, number
ma'am.
two, see things through their eyes. In these situations, it's important to be aware of how they might interpret your behavior, and if anything you've done might have been interpreted as ungrateful or demanding. Even if you are convinced that you're right, do the best to consider their point of view. Take into account everything that your friend or family member might be experiencing that's causing the behavior. Consider whether it's just something temporary whilst they're struggling with tough emotions or a tricky situation, and they need you to stick by their side whilst they work through it, or if this is just the way they are. And then here's another thing. People will
They
take
re-
their frustrations out on you because they know your
Amen.
personality and know you won't slap them upside
Yeah.
the head, when
Some
they
people
should
won't.
be targeting their frustrations on the person who is making them frustrated. But then they know that they will get a good cussing or fussing
Hello.
or a slap
Yes, ma'am.
somewhere. And then so they will
Uh-huh.
come and target you because they
Mm-hmm.
know you won't be violent with them. And they feel like
That's
you'll
right.
take the mess that they give. And 9 chances out of 10, you will take what they put on you. That's why they come and try to
Right.
reflect it
That's it. That's it.
on you
That's
instead of
it.
the person that has made them frustrated and doing
Uh-huh.
them
Yeah.
wrong. And so many people are wronged on a daily basis. And then what they do is they come and transfer their anger and stuff to another person who is nice to
Mm-hmm.
them. Okay. Number 3, decide where the line is. You have to draw a line. I'm telling you, you can give people so many chances till it's time for
Yep.
you to draw a line. You don't have to
All I
keep putting
understand.
up with this stuff.
Right.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
decide where the line is. You need to get clear with yourself and the person you care about as to what is acceptable behavior and what isn't, and what you will and won't do for them. Once you've drawn a line in the sand, stick to it. It'll probably be tough, and they'll definitely try to push the boundaries to begin with until it becomes clear to them that you're not going to budge. You have to draw a line. And some people are so domineering and so forward till they will try over and over to cross that line, even though you tell them, now look, I'm not going to put up with this. And there are some people they'll say things to, and somebody could be sitting right next to them, but they wouldn't dare say that to.
Yep.
That's the way
Yes.
people do. So
Yes.
you have to give
Yes.
them a line. You have to say, now look, you said that once, and you put your little snide remark out there now. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I love you, but don't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to
Yeah.
keep that line there, because people will take advantage of you. They will take your kindness for weakness. They take
Oh,
a step back.
hello.
Okay. If there's someone
Mm.
in your life who's consistently ungrateful or demanding toward you, and you've tried discussing it with them and establishing boundaries, then it might be time to reconsider the role you play in each other's lives. You have the right, you hear that? You have the
The
right
right.
to decide the
Hello.
part that they will play in your life, or if you want
That's
them
right.
to play any part at all.
You
Because I was saying to
That's
somebody the other day, it's about time to cut them off. And I
oh
mean,
y'all.
people keep pushing, and you be nice to people, and they have the audacity to try to be snide and that word jugging. I hadn't heard that in a long time. You know how people poking you and stuff, jugging you
Yes.
and stuff
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
And chunking at you, throwing these little stones and hiding their hands. People have the audacity
Yeah.
to do that. How dare you? You know,
Oh,
it's time to cut them off. So, for
cut them
example,
off.
many people tolerate people because of someone else. But
That's
now
it.
the
That's
times
it.
are changing and the people are changing.
Yeah.
And everybody has their
Yeah.
own thoughts and they have their own lives. And they have to consider their lives and their feelings and everything that they have. So sometimes it's time to cut them off. Okay.
Mm.
For example, you could decide that you'll no longer spend any one-on-one time with them, or might choose to no longer put any effort into maintaining the relationship. It's never easy
Mm-hmm.
to handle an ungrateful person, but if they're taking a negative toll on your life, you owe it to yourself to
Yeah.
take steps to prevent that from happening any longer. Be honest with
Mm-hmm.
yourself and be honest with
Yours.
them. Your life will be far better for it. I've seen people just take stuff and take stuff and
Absolutely.
take stuff and take
Yours.
stuff until it just worries them and they go out of here, out of this life, all that mess on them.
Only
People, you
yes.
don't have to take that stuff. Reedy, I'm done now. I'm, I'm
Uh-uh.
done now.
Go, 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 go.
I'm
I'm
through.
enjoying this.
That's the
Oh,
end of it. I'm gonna
okay.
turn my camera off and go check my door. Okay,
You were
go
quick
ahead.
with it too. Okay.
Okay,
You
it's
were quick
reading
up in
time.
here.
Okay.
All right. Up to me. Oh, there we go. Mine is I forgot the name of it, but anyway. You,
You could be the other woman.
that's it right there. You could be. I got a lot on my mind. Y'all got a lot on my mind. You could be the other woman. And and the thing about it is you don't even know you are the other woman. It's a lot of that. A lot of people do that. They are the other woman, but they don't know they're the other woman. And mine, and because mine came out of Sydney, Australia, smh.com, Australia, lifestyle, life and relationships. Okay, it was by Carrie Sackville. She wrote it, published it. She said, I was the other woman and I had no idea. She said, recently I was forced to end a relationship over a fundamental miscommunication. I had failed to communicate that I do not much like being deceived. He had failed to communicate that he had a wife in another city. In the distraught days after I uncovered the truth, I wondered if I should tell his wife. They were not in an open relationship, my lover told me, and he would greatly prefer that she didn't know. But let me tell y'all something about this. Sometimes the woman does know. Sometimes she knows. She just puts up with his mess because she don't know nothing else. And they know, and they know that.
Hold up, Rita. I've got. Okay. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Mm. I can't hear.